Hi, Gary Chillingworth here for Airgunner magazine and Shooting and Country TV. Welcome to Life at the Range. Thank you so much for all your feedback on the last video we put out on the Aries L1A1 SLR airsoft rifle. Who'd have thought that would be so popular and shooting a bit of spam would get such positive reviews. As you know, we're putting out a fortnightly vlog, so it's down to you to tell me what you want me to look at. You can contact me at lifeattherange@gmail.com or go to the website www.lifeattherange.com. Now, one of the feedback we got was from Russ Connor. Now, Russ, I will attempt to insert a picture here. This is Russ. Russ is a very, very good Springer shooter in his own right, and he's also one of the country's best semi-professional catapult shooters, a real Dennis the Menace. And another thing that a lot of you won't know about him is he's actually the president of the UK chapter of the Justin Bieber Appreciation Society. So if you see Russ, go up to him, give him the Justin Bieber sign, say, "I'm a believer," and he will tell you all about it. Now, what Russ did is he said, "Gary, great video, stick to HFT." So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to stick to HFT, or to be more precise, Springers. This is an Air Arms TX 200 Hunter Carbine. In my opinion, one of the finest spring rifles on the market today. You also have the Viroc HW97, which is also great, and the Walther LGU. All rifles, similar levels of accuracy, but they're all great guns. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take our TX, we're going to show you how to shoot it, how to get the best type of accuracy from it, and a couple of little tips and tricks that I've learned over the years will help you on your way. Welcome to Life at the Range. Okay, so the TX 200 comes in two styles. This one, which is the Hunter Carbine, has the shorter barrel, or the Classic, which has the longer barrel. Now, I personally love the Hunter Carbine, and this is for one particular reason. Up here, we have a plenum insert which can be removed, and underneath there's a 1/2 inch UNF thread which you can use to attach silencer to make this rifle incredibly quiet. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, you've bought a rifle because it's short, so it's easy to hold and to manipulate and you don't have the length. Yes, I understand that. But shortness is not always great for long range flexibility. As we all know, a spring gun works by cocking the underlever, pulling the spring back, compressing it, locks in place, put the lever back, take the safety off, and when you fire, all of the spring pushes forward, pushes a piston, which creates a big wodge of air, which sends the pellet down the barrel. Now, the issue with that is it can create flip. So when you're firing, the rifle will want to move around. It will want to go up, it will want to go left and right, it will vibrate. And that is why a Springer, in its regular form, is not as accurate as a PCP. But there are ways to get around this. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get a baseline. We're going to shoot this rifle at 40 yards, and we're going to see what level of accuracy we can get from this bog standard TX 200 Hunter Carbine. Okay, so here we are on the range, and as you can see, our TX 200 Hunter Carbine is in standard form. This means that, with the exception of this raised cheek piece, I couldn't shoot it with it resting on the floor because I'd have to get too low and I can't quite get my eye in position. So with a standard TX, we need to shoot up the peg, which is what a lot of people will recommend you to do. See, from here, I can place my hand against the peg, place the rifle in between my thumb and forefinger, and that way I'm giving equal pressure on the right and the left, and I'm allowing the rifle just to come back. To be perfectly honest, what I'm doing is I'm guiding the rifle. I'm letting it recoil, but I'm letting it come back. And because I'm not allowing it to go left and right, it will want to come back and possibly raise like that. And that is how you shoot a Springer. Now, coming up the peg is something a lot of very good shooters do. People like Perry Broad, Steve Whiting, Nigel Wood, Danny Roth, they all shoot up the peg. So let's see what sort of accuracy we can get shooting up the peg. 5 rounds of 40 yards. One thing to remember, the TX200 is slightly more difficult to cock than a classic because it has a shorter lever. Luckily that landed where I wanted it to. Very important to remember, when loading a rifle, always hold on to the cocking lever. Because when you put your fingers in here, that is essentially a guillotine. So if this flies forward, if you touch the trigger and the bear trap doesn't work, see at the moment it can't because the bear trap is working, you could lose the tips of your finger. So always hold on to the cocking lever when you're loading a spring gun. Okay, final shot. And let's have a look at the group we get. Okay, now let's go see how we did. Okay, so at 40 yards, we've got some fairly good accuracy, but we can improve. If as I just explained, the main issue was with the pellets going up and down, not side to side. Well, what can we do about that? Well, it's quite simple. We use physics. As I said earlier on, this rifle has a plenum insert, and this can be removed with a 2p piece. We've checked that the rifle isn't loaded, and we'll just insert the 2p, and we will undo. And we'll come back to you in a minute when it's out. Okay, the plenum insert is nearly out. A couple more turns, and here we go. This is the plenum insert. So we'll put that safely to one side. And what we're going to add is we're going to add a silencer or a sound moderator, depends what you wish to call it. We'll screw this in. And this is what I used for quite a long time. This particular silencer is a Viroc, which doesn't come with a 1/2-inch UNF, so you have to buy an adapter. But if you go to the Q-Tech silencer from Air Arms, that comes with the 1/2-inch UNF as standard. Now also, what I used to do is I used to put these, which are wheel weights, sort of things you get at Screwfix. And I would put 2 strips of these underneath, attached to the rifle. Now, why are we doing this? Well, we're not stopping the rifle from recoiling. What we're doing is we're putting more mass at the front, and we're using inertia to slow the recoil down. The rifle will still want to go up, but what's happening is because we've essentially put a barrel weight on the end, it's giving the pellet more time to get towards the front of the barrel and even out of the barrel before the rifle starts to move. So we're going to do our 5 shots now, and you'll probably see an increase, or sorry, a decrease in accuracy, sorry, an increase in accuracy, but a decrease of spread. So hopefully we won't have that up and down line that we had without the silencer. So let's give that a go. 5 rounds, 40 yards, TX200. Up the peg. It's also a considerably quieter rifle now, which is good for the neighbours and your ears. And there we go, a much tighter group. Although I will be honest with you, I'm not being entirely truthful. I had to re-zero the rifle in between the two tests because putting a silencer on a rifle will affect your aim points. So you always need to re-zero. But you see the difference that it makes in the up and down dispersion of the pellets. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to shoot it off the deck. And now we need a new stock. Okay, so we've had great accuracy at 40 yards with our standard TX 200 Hunter carbine. And just by adding a silencer, we've improved the dispersion of the pellets. So where do we go from here? Well, this is my target rifle, my tournament rifle. Now, this section, apart from the scope, is absolutely identical to this. They're both great guns, but this obviously has a aftermarket stock. This particular one is an LP TAC-2 from Lucas Parsley, and it's a thing of beauty. It's got a straight down pistol grip. It's well balanced. As you can see, I have a muzzle weight on the front, which doesn't look particularly attractive, but it works very, very well. Great gun. But this stock is about £400. The same cost as the rifle. And let's be straight, not everyone can throw £400 on a rifle, just on a stock. So there is a alternative. Now, those of you who are unfortunate enough to read my articles in Airgunner will know that I have a passion for bodging stuff together. And this is my target stock. Yeah, it looks like junk, doesn't it? I completely agree with you. It has a cheek piece made out of Kydex, which is a formable plastic. You put it in the oven for about 2 or 3 minutes and then you can form it round. And it was formed around a vitamin C tube. Here we have the hamster made out of a bit of old 2x1 with some M6 bolts sleeved in some carbon tubing, which was actually taken from a cut down umbrella. A couple of extra weights to give it a bit of weight. And I put some neoprene on the inside to soft bed the rifle. Now you may think, yeah, I'd never have a gun like that. Looks like junk. Yeah, it does. This won me a world title and 2 national titles back to back. So it may look like junk, but it does the job. So what we're going to do now is we're going to swap the actions over, which is dead simple. 1 screw there, 1 screw on the other side, 2 screws here. This comes out, drops out and drops in. So we'll do that now. And we'll come back to you in a sec in the range and we'll see how the new stock helps. And here we go. Feels like an old friend. I love this rifle. I'll never ever sell it. It's not quite as accurate as it used to be. It's getting old. I've put 20, 30, 40,000 rounds through it. It's a brilliant gun. I just love it. But let's see what kind of accuracy we got with this new horrible looking stock. Now, many people will tell you never ever rest the butt of a spring gun on the deck, on the floor. I disagree. I've been doing it for years. It's absolutely fine. As long as you allow the rifle to recoil, as long as you don't try and clamp it with your chin and push it down hard, it's absolutely fine. But I understand it's not for everyone. So here is another little trick that you can do with a spring gun that will give you all the benefits of resting on the deck, but it'll still enable you to come up the peg. Come a bit closer to the peg, come up and make your arm into like a crook. You will need an adjustable butt pad, one of these, and I've got again a bit of mouldable plastic on the bottom for a bit of extra height, and this is very slippery, also helps the gun to recoil. And what you do is you rest in the crook of your arm. Oh, feels nice. I haven't shot this for a while like this. So there we go. Absolutely locked in place, ready to go. So let's try 5 shots with Old Faithful in this wonderful old stock and see how we go. Okay. crook of the arm. You get into a rhythm. Load, bear trap, safety, aim, shoot. Although if you're doing this all day long, get yourself some Raljacks, because you do end up with a little bit of a sore shoulder. So again, crook of the arm. Final shot, and as you can already see, our accuracy has improved. And there we go. Okay, so now we're going to do the same 5 shots, but we're going to rest the butt of the rifle on the deck. Something that people will never ever tell you to do. But again, we've got the muzzle weight at the front. We've got the ability to recoil. Heavy scope also helps as well, although I love the Optisan, which is not very heavy, with a bit of extra weight. And let's see how we do. Again, still 40 yards. Get nice and low. Make sure your pistol grip doesn't touch the ground. That's where I want. I did actually say that this rifle and my target rifle are identical. They're not. This one actually has a VMAX spring and a standard piston. Whereas my target rifle has a 22mm high compression piston, which is lighter, makes the gun faster to shoot and easier to cock. However, as you can see, between this stock with this setup and my target rifle, no difference in accuracy. Last one. And there we go. Great level of accuracy, disgusting looking stock, and I'm sure many of you will be more than capable of making something a lot prettier than this. And you can pick up second-hand stocks of TXs on eBay, sometimes for 20, 30 pounds. So you can buy one and mess around with it. That's exactly what I did with this. I think it cost me 25 quid. If you're able to make a homemade beautiful stock, send it into the channel and we'll feature it. So now let's have a go with the target rifle and see how we do with that. Okay, so this is my target rifle. As I said earlier on, TX200 HC, muzzle weight, Optisan CP 10x32, 22mm piston, standard spring. It's lubricated with Krytox, whereas that is lubricated with molybdenum disulfide, which I can never say properly. Krytox is great, but you have to re-lube it every couple of 100 rounds. Molly will last for ages, but I like Krytox because it's a little bit less temperature variant. So this is a full race gun. Let's see what kind of accuracy we can get. Nice and easy to cock because it's a smaller piston. Didn't quite cock it all the way last time. Two more to go, and as you can see, the accuracy is there. Resting it on the deck, cheek welded to the cheek riser. And this level of accuracy is why this gun is more than capable of beating PCPs in competition. The 97s are great, so the LGUs, but I love the TX. Last shot. There you go. So as you can see, not a massive difference in accuracy, just slightly, and that's due to the faster lock time. Beautiful rifle. Why do I like the TX? Well, as you can see by the jacket I'm wearing, Claire West, the MD of Air Arms, in a fit of madness, asked me to be captain of the Air Arms Springer team, which has been one of the greatest honours of my life. I love the TX because if you have an issue with it and you've got to strip it down, then you don't have to remove the scope. You take the stock off, there's one big bolt, a couple at the front, and it's done. It's in pieces. And if you actually want a video on how to do a full strip and relube of a TX 200, let me know in the comments below and we'll arrange to do that in the future. Okay, so there we have it, the TX 200 Hunter carbine. Superbly accurate, incredibly well made, reliable. They're just great. Fantastic underlever. There is obviously, of course, the Pro Sport in the range if you want an underlever that's actually regressed into the handle. In the Viroc range, you've got the HW97, the 77, the HW98, which I also own, which is a brake barrel. You've got the LGV, the LGU from Walther. BSA makes some great springers, and Gamo makes some great budget springers. Spring is your thing. I love springers. This is my passion. What more can I say? You can see the level of accuracy we can get from one of these machines. A lot of people will buy a Springer and don't get that accuracy straight away and they give up. And please don't do that. They are really worth bearing with. You need to learn how to hold them so you hold them just hard enough to get the accuracy, but just loose enough so you're not restricting them and stopping them from recoiling. It's about guiding the recoil, making the rifle bend to your will. I was told never rest the butt of your gun on the ground if you're a Springer shooter. Well, that's how I shot a PCP. So I started adding weights and looking at things, and we worked out how to do it. And now we get the level of accuracy that we do. I love this gun. And to quote a great film, there are many like it, but this one is mine. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If this is the sort of thing you want to see more of, then please let me know. Please like, share and subscribe. Otherwise, Emily will have my legs broken. Click the bell notifications and you'll get all new videos from Shooting the Country TV, most of which are considerably better than mine. Shoot straight, have fun, stay safe, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks' time. Thank you from Life at the Range.